Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's travel vlog series, we are traveling back in time to Baroque Bratislava, also known as the Coronation City. Come join us and discover Bratislava Castle, Slaven Memorial, Michael's Gate and St. Martin's Cathedral in the capital city of Slovakia. First up is Slaven. It is the largest war memorial in Central Europe. This gigantic memorial is one of the dominating features of the city's skyline. On a hill overlooking the castle, it commemorates the city's liberation by the Red Army in April 1945. This memorial is also a cemetery for 6,845 Soviet soldiers who died during the battles for the city and the surrounding region that took place in the final weeks of World War II. The scale of the memorial is impressive. The central structure, or otherwise known as obelisk, is more than 42 meters high and is topped by an 11-meter tall statue by Alexander Trusuyuk. It is a statue of a victorious Soviet soldier carrying the flag. Around the base are inscriptions recording the Slovak cities liberated by the Red Army during its westward advance in 1944 and 1945. It was built between 1957 and 1960. This is a good introduction for anyone unfamiliar with the monumental style of Soviet war memorials and Soviet architecture. As you can see, flanking the steps in front of the monument are two ensembles of statues. What looks like male figures of soldiers and civilians arm in arm after the struggle of the war. The main monument has the shape of a tall obelisk standing on a square base with colonnades on all four sides. At the top of the obelisk stands a single soldier carrying the Soviet flag and trampling on a broken swastika, a classic symbolism showing the end of the Nazi rule. You can also find this at the Soviet War Memorial in Treptow Park in Berlin, Germany. The memorial and Soviet liberation carries mixed memories for Slovaks. There is genuine gratitude for the sacrifice of the Russians and other Soviet people who defeated the Nazis in 1945. But the Soviet-backed Communist Party takeover of Czechoslovakia in 1948 and the Soviet-led Warsaw Pact invasion of Czechoslovakia in 1968, which unseated the popular Slovak leader Alexander Dubček, undermined its popular legacy. Stairs lead to a balcony level above the relief from where you get a splendid view of the hills around. And you'll be able to see parts of the old town, like what you're seeing over here. But it is worth getting up close. Whatever way you get there, you will most likely start at the main entrance. For visitors, the memorial's main attribute is the panorama. Its position is spectacular, with great views across the city. Okay, we are entering the castle. I hope you can hear me. Let's go.
She's waiting for love to be realized. I'll send her my heart covered as a gift, and hope that you'll take it into her side. La 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 la.
Bratislava Castle's silhouette is created by 4 wings, each with a corner tower. For 2 centuries, the southwest tower, also known as Jewels Tower, housed the Hungarian coronation jewels. Bratislava became the official coronation town for Hungarian kings, and the castle became formal seat of the kings of the Royal Hungary. Maria Theresa had the castle extensively reconstructed with the help of the best imperial architects. It was no longer a fortress. Rather, it was a residence and a representative palace. She had a new palace, so-called Theresianum, built along with several other buildings and added new French gardens. The area in front of the castle is called Yard of Honor. It is bordered by 2 triumphal gates and houses of the Imperial Guard. In the 16th century, King Ferdinand ordered the rebuilding of the castle in the Renaissance style, while in the 17th century, when the castle became the seat of a provincial chief, Palfi, it was rebuilt in the Baroque style. In the reign of Maria Theresa, the castle was arranged according to the needs of her son-in-law, Albert, who was governor of Saxony and Tessen, who was a fervent art collector and who installed his works in the castle. This collection was later moved to Vienna to become the present-day Albertina Gallery, which you will see more in my future travel vlogs. Since independence, the castle has served as a representative venue for the Slovak Parliament and houses collections of the Slovak National Museum. After the Empress and her son Joseph II died, castle was deserted and became a military garrison. In the May of 1811, the fire broke in the military warehouse, leaving only ruins. After the Second World War, the castle underwent serious reconstruction and renovation. In 1968, state leaders signed a document here establishing Czechoslovak Federation. In 1992, new constitution of independent Slovakia was signed here as well. Exhibition of the Slovak National Museums are open to public at Bratislava Castle, or you can visit www.snm.sk. On the eastern terrace of the palace, you can find reconstructed remains of the Great Moravian Basilica and other buildings from this era of the 11th century. Don't forget to enjoy magnificent panoramic views on Bratislava from the castle's area. And at night, this castle is beautifully lit. Unfortunately for us, it was only a day trip. The outdoor patio is the perfect place for a meal on a sunny day. Located high above and right next to Bratislava's castle, Restauracja Hrad overlooks the city. with some excellent views of the old town, the new town, and not forgetting River Danube. Located on the courtyard of the castle, Restauracja Hradna Hviezda is a unique place to dine at. Traditional Slovak cuisine and local wines are offered here. Just think about it. How often do you have a chance to eat at a castle? "11 kings and 8 queens were crowned in Bratislava Castle in the past." Bratislava, the landmark overlooking the capital, built in the 9th century. As an age-long symbol of the city, it proudly stands on the hill above the Danube River. It's no wonder that the castle is a popular part of excursions throughout the city. In Bratislava, Slovakia, Michael's Gate is the only city gate that has been preserved of the medieval fortifications and ranks among the oldest town buildings. Built about the year 1300, its present shape is the result of Baroque reconstructions in 1758, when the statue of Saint Michael and the dragon was placed on its top. The tower houses an exhibition of weapons of Bratislava City Museum. In the medieval times, the town was surrounded by fortified walls, and entry and exit was only possible through one of the 4 heavily fortified gates. On the east side of the town, it was named after St. Lawrence. In the south, it was the Fisherman's Gate. On the west side, it was called the Dark or Black Gate, since it was like a tunnel, dark and long. And in the north, there's St. Michael's Gate, named after St. Michael and the St. Michael Church that stood in front of it. Traditional Slovak dishes mainly consist of dumplings, soups and breads. Brinza cheese is a highlight in many Slovak dishes. Due to Slovakia's central location and complex history, many Slovak dishes also exist in surrounding countries like Austria and Hungary. But almost always, Slovaks have added their own special twist to their local cuisine. As for my Muslim viewers, there's also halal options for you to choose from, mostly Turkish food. We decided to go for traditional Slovak dishes, and in this restaurant, in what seems like an underground bomb shelter many decades ago, turned into a fine dining restaurant. We opted for a garden salad, beef goulash, chicken noodle soup, and a bread basket. While you can get dumplings in any Central European country, you can only find true Brinzov haluski in one place, Slovakia. Bon appetit, or should I say, dobru šut. Kigelvich Palace is a Baroque mansion on Panska Street 27 in Bratislava, Slovakia. It is included among the National Monuments Reservation of the city. In 1796, Ludwig van Beethoven stayed here, where he wrote his Grand Sonata for the piano, which he dedicated to Babetta, the daughter of Karl and Catherine Kigelvich. She was given private lessons by Beethoven in Vienna and Bratislava. Beethoven composed his Piano Sonata No. 4 in E-flat major and Piano Concerto No. 1 in C major, and some other sonatas which he dedicated to the Countess Anna Louise Barbara Kigelvich. He also played at concerts in the Kigelvich Palace. The St. Martin's Cathedral is a church and cathedral of the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Bratislava. This Gothic-styled cathedral is built on the site of a previous Romanesque church dedicated to the Holy Saviour. After 1291, when Bratislava was given the privileges of a town, the church was rebuilt to become part of the city walls. Its tower served as a defensive bastion. The present church was consecrated in 1452. It has 4 chapels: the Canon's Chapel, the Gothic Chapel of Sofia, Bavaria, the Chapel of St. Anne, and the Baroque Chapel of St. John the Merciful. The portal of the southern antechamber represents the oldest example of Renaissance architecture in Slovakia. Between 1563 and 1830, St. Martin's served as the coronation church for Hungarian kings and their consorts, marked to this day by a 300-kilogram gilded replica of the Hungarian royal crown perched on the top of the cathedral's 85-meter-tall neo-Gothic tower. 10 kings, 1 queen, and 7 royal wives from the Habsburg dynasty were crowned in St. Martin's Cathedral. At the beginning of September each year, the pomp and circumstance of the coronation returns to Bratislava in a faithful reconstruction of the ceremony. The first monumental work of Central European sculpture made from lead can be found inside the cathedral. It depicts Saint Martin sitting on a horse rampant, bending to a beggar and cutting his overcoat to share it with the poor man. A small but significant neighbor of the cathedral is a monument to the synagogue, which stood next door for centuries until the communist government demolished it in 1969 to make way for construction of the Novi Most, also known as SNP Bridge. The synagogue was constructed on a square adjacent to St. Martin's Cathedral and was a major landmark often depicted on postcards. It was here that Eugene Barkany oversaw his judicial collection of the Bratislava Jewish community. No visit to Bratislava would be complete without taking in all these attractions. Its somewhat unique dark history, attractive sights, rich cultural life, excellent local gastronomy, and proximity to nature makes Bratislava an ideal city break destination. Sometimes it's hard to choose from a wide range of activities when you want to discover the best of the city, especially for a day trip. Thank you, Bratislava. Till next time. Do widzenia. Not sure what this is about. Photo exhibition on life of Mahatma Gandhi. Possibly inside here. Oh yeah, I do see Gandhi inside. I mean, his pictures, which you guys can't see. Okay. There's no one. I'm not sure if you can go in. Let's try. Nope. Nope. It's closed. Hello. Hello. Where are you off to? Bye. Devil's Strip Club. It's a hotel.